Patreon members, welcome to another video here. I'm very excited for this video because I get a lot of requests for playing bossa novas, playing in a solo piano setting. So today I'm going to be showing you some things that I use, how I approach playing solo piano. So let's dive right in. Now, today I'm going to be using what I posted up on Patreon, or what I will post up on Patreon, is this arrangement of Girl from Ipanema in 3 parts for solo piano for patrons. So it's on the website, so please go to Patreon, download, print, so you can follow along with the rest of the video. So a while back I posted a video about solo piano and how I approach solo piano. And one of the things that I talk about is how I approach solo piano in 3 different parts, meaning that there's 3 different parts of the music that I focus on. The bass part, the inner voicings and harmony, and then the melody up top. So that's what I'm going to be using today, is this kind of approach. So if you look at the lead sheet that I posted, you notice that the melody here, I made a note. It says 5th finger plays the melody. Now, for the most part, I use this kind of approach on many tunes, but sometimes it just can't be done. Maybe the tune is very, very fast. It's a bebop tune. I can't play bebop lines with 1 finger. But for this tune specifically, Girl from Ipanema, it does work. So the right hand, 5th finger, is going to be playing the melody for the most part. Okay, so that's one staff. Okay, the middle staff, like I was saying, is going to be playing some of the inner voicings, where I'm going to be playing the harmony, the chords from Girl from Ipanema. And the note that I made here is that the thumb and the inner fingers are going to be playing that voicings. Okay, and then, so that's one staff, and then the bottom staff is obviously your bass part. So I have approached this, I've used this approach for solo piano on tunes. It's not always this way. You know, if I'm playing a ballad, there's more room. You know, there's other things. You know, if I'm playing a swing, I might approach it more this way. So just take everything that I say with a grain of salt. So let's dive right in. Now, the one thing that you're gonna notice right off the bat, if you are able to write out the melody, and then you start to begin to write a inner voicing here, and then your bass part, when you start to put it all together, you're gonna notice that there's gonna be some independence difficulties, you know, in some sections, especially on a bossa nova, because your bass part is constantly playing some sort of rhythm in the bossa nova style, you know. And then you have to add the melody on top of that, and then these inner voicings. So this process really has to be slow. And the reason why I like to write it out like this is because I can visually see the beats. And if I'm having trouble in some section, I can go in and really slowly put it together. So, and that's the way I approach it. Obviously the melody is going to be in the right hand with the 5th finger. Now I say 5th finger, you know, there are times when the melody is being played by other fingers. The main idea is that the outside of the hand is going to be playing the melody for the most part, and then the inner voicings are played down here with the left side of your, inside of your hand, right hand. So just in general, that's kind of the idea, you know. So I'm going to dive right in. If we start at the beginning of the arrangement, my left hand is playing this. And the way I like to practice this, especially if it's a difficult piece where there's a lot of hand independence, is that I really like to take it in parts. So I will take the bass part and the melody together. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the first bar. So once I am able to play that bar, just those two parts, I add the inner voicing. Now the inner voicing, you guys are going to be coming up with your own inner voicings for the harmony. But that for me is actually the funnest part of this, is how creative can you get with the inner movement and inner harmonies happening. So really take time to think about what harmonies and you know, the fact that your hand is going to be, your right hand, the inner part is going to be playing these voicings. So that's kind of the fun part for me, trying to decide what harmonies to use. So then when you add that inner voicing for the first measure, notice that that's happening on its own, right? Okay. So there's some independent things there. So the second measure, notice that the inner voicing is happening on beat 2, but my melody is on an upbeat. So a lot of times you'll have that kind of upbeat syncopation even within the hand. Sorry, that was not right. Voicing there. So a lot of times it's fun to put the voicing kind of in the middle of where the melody is happening, and that's going to be the trick. Is to practice. I didn't get a chance to practice all this today. Is to practice those inner voicings and having them happen while the bass and the melody is happening at the same time. There's a section here where I wrote down. Let me show you that here at measure 24. I purposely put a lot of stuff going on there. So my melody is here, measure 25. So right. So my left hand. Notice there are times when each staff kind of goes into another staff's territory. So the bass line, notice that this note here, the E flat, is kind of part of this implied, almost like a F sharp diminished chord. But I decided to put it in the bass part because sometimes it's easier to do that, you know, instead of me voicing it down here. Notice my hand here? I would have had to do that. But I have a melody up here, so does that make sense? So my melody's here, I can't play this down here. I don't have that big of hands, you know. So I put it in the bass line. So there are times when staffs, the notes in the staff, they kind of go into each staff's territory. You know, the melody, maybe there's some harmony there at the same time. Maybe the harmony is played in the bass line as well, you know. So that's one thing that you can decide, you know, based on the hands and what the voicing, you know. Okay, so I need to practice that measure. Those two measures. Measures 33. So the way I would practice that is just my melody and my bass line. Right? So now I'm slowly gonna try to put the inner voicings in there. Right? Almost. Ah. Alright? Yeah. So it's a very slow process, but I really think that if you write down the parts that you want to play, and you work on the independence part of it really slowly, it will help. It will help with your overall way of playing and approaching the music. Solo piano, you know. By the way, in the bridge, I just did a little bit of a reharm, some different harmony. So this whole thing is kind of a fun thing for me because you can make your own arrangement of a tune that you choose, and you really learn a lot about the range of the piano and where to put the chords, the timing of it, you know. So I hope that this video helps. I'm gonna post this up on the Patreon site. It's a PDF. It's called "Girl from Ipanema" in 3 parts for solo piano. So that would be my advice: is to write down a melody, an inner voicing that's being played with your inside of your hand. You know, your melodies with your outside, inside, and then your bass line. And notice in the arrangement, I used a variation of bass lines in here. And the good thing about doing this kind of thing also is that you start to really learn about the styles of the music. You know, on the bridge here, that's just a slightly different variation for you know, I'm using, for the bossa nova, I'm using more octaves as opposed to fifths. That's just one variation you can use for a bossa nova. So you start to learn about what the bass line is supposed to do, you know, and that's really, really good for you. You learn about those styles and the rhythm. Also, whenever you're doing this, I meant to talk about this, but the melody, if you are having to change the melody a little bit so that it works, and you can add more chords, or if there's something really nice that you want to do, but it's forcing you to change the melody a little bit, I think that is okay. I mean, you're interpreting the melody for the tune that you're doing, and you're an artist. You know, you are exploring the music, and you have your own interpretation of the music. So if you have to change the melody, I think that is okay. Girl from Ipanema has so many different renditions, you know. This rhythm has been interpreted so many different ways. So if you're having to change a little bit, you know, I think that is okay. So I would encourage you guys to write out in 3 parts: melody, inner voicing, and keeping into account that your melody is going to be played with the right side of your hand, your voicing is going to be with your left hand, bass line. This is just one approach. I hope that this video helped. Let me know your questions. Please go to the Patreon site and download, print this, and please let me know your questions. I'm here to answer any questions. I think that's it, and thank you guys for being patrons. Sorry that I haven't posted in a while. It's been kind of crazy lately, but this video, I think it's worth it. took me a little while to arrange, and then I'm gonna do the video. And anyway, I hope it's beneficial, and thank you guys again, and see you on the next video.